good right now, but I'm gonna not vape.
Okay.
Although my fucking sweet little pacifier. I was wearing these as a way of hiding,
All right.
and I
Very
don't think I
good.
want to hide. Basically, I work right now in Savannah, Georgia, and it's so beautiful, it's so inspiring. So many artists and just the architecture and the like heat and the sweating and the people on River Street that are wanting to draw my picture. It's like very inspiring, very poetic, romantic city, and I'm very inspired by it. And one thing that I kind of think that every photographer, maybe every artist, but not so much artists, but more like photography because it's like representational of like certain aspects. Like there's like a realism to it, for most of it. Um, is like to get entrenched into wherever they are and be passionate about building the community and getting involved in the places that they're going and the things that they're seeing and documenting, because if their passion isn't there, then like it's going to show in the final images. And the thing is, I don't take pictures of architecture and I don't take pictures of street photography or anything like that, I mean, I do, but I've never been like so passionate about that. And so I was thinking like, how can I build this community where I'm kind of like removed from it, or at the very most just a part of it. And I had been working on a project where I was taking digital images at a 1-to-1 ratio and then placing them back in the same composition and then taking a picture with my analog camera, medium format. And I kind of got to a hiatus with that where I was at like not a stopping point, but just kind of like it felt exhausted and I need to live a little more. But I wanted to continue like the whole process and breathing that process. And I think that I landed on the process um, while I was living in a cabin by myself, and so I thought it was like my own original idea. And then I get to um, hearing people telling me about my work and they're asking me like, oh, Kenneth Josephson, or like, oh, these other artists have done that. And then even today you'll see like a picture of the old place, like a old photograph of the same place taken in front of it. So I was like, this isn't mine, and I was like, but I like it and I think everybody can do it. So how can I get more people to kind of like build the same kind of mentality that you need for taking photos, which is awareness, walking around? How can I get them outside doing something fun? And then how can I like do it where I'm continuing something but adding a new layer to it or going down a different avenue? And so I ended up doing the 1-to-1 ratio images throughout Savannah on these walks that I would take. And then I just like stick them on there with some like removable putty. And then I put them up for a week. And then I posted on Instagram what the route is. And so far, it's been getting great reception. And the best part about it for me is that after whenever I'm sure like I will feel it in my heart, or the universe will tell me that it's like at a stopping point or a point of closure, or at least like a junction where it's like reach where it needs to be. But I'm going to compile everybody that has participated in the scavenger hunt and taken pictures of the pictures that I put out there, and I'm going to print them, and then I'm going to have a whole show with all of their pieces in the show, and I'm going to give them all the credibility so that they can have that and just like kind of beef up their resume. So it's kind of like more inclusive as opposed to it being like solely about this is my project. I'm the artist. This is my artist ego, and I'm milking it again because I know from experience of what we talked about, where that ends me up, and I'd be making descansos on the side of the road. The project that I'm working on currently, and it's kind of growing, is just the most basic thing, and how it kind of arose from this like moment of desperation where like I was in school and like certain spiritual practices that I'd been working on. I wasn't able to meditate. I wasn't finding time to like exercise or do any of the stuff that like I needed to do for my mental health and my spiritual wellness. And whenever I get in a state like that, what I normally do is I go back to like the most basic thing. And so, like, at one point in my life when I was a kid, my mom was a kindergarten teacher, and she showed me this experiment that was just basically just milk and food coloring, and then just like a little bit of dishwashing soap, and you'd put it in there, and this whole explosion of these beautiful colors would happen. And where I was at in my life is I needed a meditation, and I needed to remember that I wasn't in control of like the certain things, because like a lot of times photography, I find these photographers, they get so latched in this control, and they want to know about like the technical things, and they want to know about this. And I feel like control kind of is the death of creativity, really. I feel like imagination and stuff like that, like you can't, I can't control my imagination. Like it just happens and it comes from the source that I'm not aware of, and so I found myself like in school trying to balance these things of like people telling me I needed to control things, but also losing out on my spiritual stuff. So I went back to that essence of something I learned from elementary school, and then just decided to start taking photographs of it, with a macro lens, and it just kind of like exploded into me staying up, and I would be like taking photographs of this chemical reaction that was like so simplistic. And I would get done photographing and I would be like, oh my gosh, man, that was like an intense 30 minutes, And then I would look at my watch and it had been like 2.5 hours. So I was locking into that spiritual meditation that I needed of like leaving myself, and I was letting go of trying to control the entire process to this like chemical reaction where I would flow with it. So I was like reaching in essence, like a flow state, which is exactly what I needed. So, like anytime that I had complete control over something, I always felt like it was an ego building proposition, like I was doing it so that I could feel some kind of self worth through other people telling me that it was good. Why I get so jazzed about these, man, is because like I'm stepping out of myself and I'm seeing something happen, and because I can't control it, it has endless amount of opportunities to grow, to expand, and each time it's always something new, And so each time I'm doing it, I don't know what I'm going to get. And then when I see the results, something new always is happening, and I always see something different, and that's pretty exciting. One of my favorite things that I like to do is like find a piece of work that I fucking hate, man. And then I try and tell myself, I say, all right, we'll recreate that and just make that piece the exact same way, And by the end of my experience with making a piece of work that I hate, or that even just superficially resembles like a piece of art that I hate, then I have a new respect for it. And I still might not approve of the work or like it as much, in like my own kind of taste and as far as that goes. But I appreciate it, and I know more, either I'm informed more by doing it, um, because of the seeking and not just like contempt prior to investigation.
Now I'm looking at the mark from your AC thing.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Do you want to keep it?
Yeah, why not, dude?
Okay.
Studio, man.
We're living a normal life. We're normal people
Yeah, yeah,
living
yeah.
normal life.
What does it taste like? It might be like some syrup.
Yeah.